Hello everyone, I'm Pacific and welcome back to another video. And I'm out of school officially. I just woke up today. This is why I look like crap and my voice sounds bad, but I just woke up today. I slept in for 10 hours because I didn't have work today. And this is the first official Monday where I'm out of school and I'm an adult. And this is a big step for me, right? Because I don't know if I've shared how much I hate school, but I hate school. With school, it took me 3 years to learn 4 grades of math. Without school, it took me 3 months to learn another 2 grades of math. So, go figure. There's a reason I don't like school, right? All my American history I learned from just studying on its own. Some of the teachers were really, really good at school, and they taught me more. But that doesn't justify going to school, even though it's really good to go to school for some of the things that I learned. Like I learned just how to write better. I'm a very good writer. I can write pretty well from school. But this means that I have 20 to 40 hours a week of my life back. There was a time, I think when I first started school back, or first started the college, right? 11th grade, back in 2015, in September, I was spending literally 40 hours a week on schoolwork and going to school. It was horrible. It was so bad. And my math grade, I bumped it up to an A, and then slowly it went down because I was getting C's on everything because I had an online homework and it would your grade would go up, 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 and I'm like, okay, it's a C, I'm good. And then maybe I'd do a B on something. And it's just I couldn't deal with the school, man. It was so annoying because it took away from YouTube, right? Because getting out of school for me, all I see is more time that I can put into YouTube and coming up with ideas. That's all I see. And, building a social life because I have a couple friends that want to move out eventually and I need to build a social life with them. But it's like, if you guys noticed in the last few weeks, I haven't really stuck to my uploading schedule. And that's because school got in the way. Because my history teacher, who's an amazing teacher, ended up having to bump all our papers to the last 3 weeks of class. So I'm sitting there writing papers, and then some important things come up because it's graduation, right? So I have to do all that stuff. And then just didn't work out. I mean, this last weekend I didn't even upload. I did a couple live streams. And that was that. But now that I'm out of school, today is Monday. After this video goes up, every other day should, be amazing. I should do whatever I want. I have so much more time. That is the big thing. I have way more time to do things that, progress my life onwards. Like credit cards and looking for houses and looking at cars and saving up money and working on YouTube, doing all of that to benefit my life. And now that that is out of the way, I do want to talk about my schooling from K through 12th grade because I think I have a really unique path of schooling that, educational wise, it helped me. Socially, it didn't at all. I had to learn that on my own. But I think since I learned it on my own, it was better. So basically, from kindergarten up to 6th grade, I was homeschooled. And it worked out better for me because the way that my mom taught was very much like my college math class, where you read the chapter, you do your homework. And we didn't have any finals because it was basically, here's your homework, and you're going to complete it all as fast as you can from, we'd always have the summer off, from September all the way up until August. So we had, instead of having 9 months in the summer off, we had 12 months to do all of our homework, right? And if we got it done all the way, then we could just bump up to the next grade and then have our summer off, which actually helped me a lot. Oh my gosh. This is why you don't record in the morning, but this helped me a lot in my reading, actually. My reading, the actual reading concept, like grammar and spelling and how words worked, I sucked at. But things like reading words and like seeing a really long word and pronouncing it, that really helped me with homeschooling because I could progress at my own pace for reading. It was funny. I it seems like all of my reading and my sister's ability to read came into me because she couldn't read at all. Right? So it's two very different things. Math, I could do math really easily. I think for 3rd grade and 4th grade and maybe 5th grade math, I really didn't need it except for the new concepts where it's stuff like, oh, here's instead of multiplying these two numbers, here's like 4,962 times da 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 da. You know, that stuff was really easy to me because I was like, oh, it's just more numbers. And then I'd put the answer down and, read it out. I'm like, oh, that's a pretty big number. But that was me K through 6. And 7th was when I actually went into a school, and it wasn't a public school. It's considered alternative education, and it's this school that it's really weird. It's an alternative school where you have to be homeschooling to get into it, and then your teachers are all homeschooling teachers, which it was good and bad. The reason why it was good was because the teachers had a lot of freedom to kind of go into their teaching style. So like the history teacher there was really good because she could go into her teaching style, right? She still had to prepare us for some tests, but she could really just go into her teaching style. While other teachers didn't take advantage of this and just really did the same old, here's your textbook, here's your homework, we're going to talk about it, stuff like that. But the problem, like what happened with that school was basically instead of going to 5 classes a week, you went to 3 classes a week, and that extra class time was taken up with homework, right? So, you had class Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Monday was always a really long day because you had homework due Tuesday, but Thursday to Monday, you got your Fridays off, and Wednesday was just extra classes that you ended up taking, which I hated the extra classes there. I didn't take a lot of them. But the school was really an alternative education, right? It's not the public school. It's not a private school. It's an alternative education school. And then you had the people who said it was a public school for homeschoolers, which was completely inaccurate. That was not what it was. It was an alternative school that had extra requirements for you to get in. I mean, it even had private school type tests to get in, right? You had to take this algebra test, and after you took your algebra, it put you in whatever math level and whatever, and you couldn't go past it. But this is where it got kind of weird. So you have your statewide high school credit requirements, and then you had your school-wide state credit requirements. The high school in my town is the only high school in my town, and it's a little bit higher credit count than the state. And so the way that my school worked was if you were not a grade ahead in everything, except for I think English. So if you were not a grade ahead in math, science, history, and Spanish, you couldn't go to the high school and finish your credits. You had to go to a community college, which no one saw this, and I saw it, and it was really bothersome to me because the principal at the time was like, "Oh, we have a very high percentage of people going to da da da," right? But that was a skewed reality of things. Yeah, we have a high percentage of kids going to the community college, but there's a big reason behind this that he's not explaining to everyone. And the principal of that school, I absolutely despised him because he was super stuck up, which ended up making, when I started in 7th grade was better than 10th grade because the school just kind of went downhill. right? Then the new principal, my sister's 2 grades behind me. She's at the school. The new principal is really cool, and he's working to fix stuff. Which I'm like, great. That school can maybe be better school than it used to be, because there's a lot of, you couldn't express yourself in that school at all because it mixed high schoolers and middle schoolers and elementary schoolers all together. And the parents did not follow the rules there because they were like, oh, it's a homeschool, da da da. So they didn't follow the rules and ended up ruining a lot of it for the students. It's just horrible. It was a school that you never really didn't want to go to, but the education you got was a little bit better. And then we get into the last 2 years of school where I wasn't a grade ahead and everything, so I had to go to the community college. And that, I think, those 2 years were probably more productive than all my schooling, right? Because, like, the college teachers would literally say, okay, I was in community college, so I got my tuition free, but for the people that paid, you paid like $700 a class. It was crazy. It was like $125 a credit, right? So that comes up to about $600-700, including all the tech fees and stuff. And I learned English so well in that school. I learned English. The chemistry wasn't as good. I had a chemistry teacher in my alternative education school. She was one of the best teachers I've ever had. The chemistry teacher. It's amazing. But the English teachers there were amazing. It was actually, I took English, I took a research paper English, I took a public speaking, and then I went back and I took a mystery class. There was so much, like, that is not an English school. It is a nursing and technology school. And I took a bunch of English, and it was amazing. And then they had a bunch of basic classes related to YouTube, like videography and Photoshop and two-dimensional design that I took, and those were all amazing. And I took business, and I learned to critically think from my history teacher, who also taught philosophy. I took 2 classes from, there's only, I think, 2 or 3 teachers I took 2 classes from. I think there's 2 teachers I took 2 classes from. It was my research paper and mystery teacher were the same, and my history and philosophy teacher were the same, because they were just amazing teachers that made you think about everything, right? Like, my history teacher would say, okay, if I present an idea and you disagree with it, as long as you have a reason to disagree with it, I'm going to listen to you. So, we talked about raising the voting age to 16, because it's an American history class. We're going to talk about that, right? And I was like, basically the argument was, we should raise it for freedoms for the 16-year-olds. And then that got trumped by me saying the parents can influence the 16-year-olds. And then we came up with a bunch of contingencies where it's like, well, maybe we should make a class on it. And maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do that. And it's like, in 10 minutes, we pretty much came up with a rough draft to solve the problem of lowering the voting age to 16. And it's because this teacher understood what was going on. The mystery teacher, she literally, it was a mystery class. So stuff we didn't understand, she goes, all right, I want you guys to read these books, and then we're going to watch the movies that are like the books, but they're not the same story as the books, and I want you to compare them, and I want you to come up with similarities, right? That's what we did, and it was those 2 classes, the mystery and the history class. It was actually the history class and the history of mystery were like the best classes I ever took, because of just the insane amount of critical thinking we learned. I didn't learn critical thinking until 11th and 12th grade. That's a skill that I very much value, and I don't ever want to get rid of. So, now it's, I think, today's Monday, so it's 3 days after graduation, and I mean, like, it feels great to be out of school. I value it more than being in school, but those 2 teachers, I wish I could keep learning from them. They don't teach any other classes, except there's like a poetry class, which I ain't doing poetry. I'm sorry, but now we're here where I can get a job and get on the YouTube grind because I have all this time and I have a super flexible job too. And it's a job that Washington kind of messes everything up with the minimum wage. I think we're one of the highest in the country, which is $11, which is insane. I hate it. But where I work, the initial wage is 11 is minimum wage plus one plus I get some tips. So it's basically 15 to $16 a month. So, and I'm really happy with it because it's challenging, but I learned so many skills in college that the job that they consider is challenging is not challenging to me. So, I mean, I feel like I shouldn't earn that much money, but it's like, it's a harder job. And I'm like, okay, might as well just try it. So, now with that, I'm going to sit at this job and, I can work on it and really get a bunch of money so I can invest it back in my YouTube channel. Everyone's like, I wish I had a bunch of money. It's like, I wish I had a bunch of money to invest into my channel, to invest in better education from the people that know what they're doing, better video ideas, better equipment. I have the webcam, I have the microphone. I want better equipment. I want a green screen. You see all this stuff behind me? Now that I have time, this stuff is going away. All right? This, like, you guys can see this space up to the back of the stairs, right, hold on, there. There's a longer space that way. Over there, there's like a little alcove. You could tell from the roof up there. But it's full of stuff. And now that I have time, I can bug my parents because of their stuff. And they can go through it. But, I can do that. Or, right now it's kind of up in the air if I want to move out because it's a situation. I think I'm going to make a separate video on this because it's a situation that I think you guys should know about because it might affect the videos actually. It probably will, but I'm ready to be done educating myself and make improvements to my life. I want to make improvements to what I'm doing because I don't like this where like my room situation right here. And, as you can see, I got stuff right there. I got the drawers open. Like, the whole room is messy, so stuff that shouldn't be messy is naturally messy, right? That's what happened to me. If you watch my older videos, my room got messier. It looked like a hoarder's house. And then I fixed up my room, and it was clean. And then it's like, okay, Jared, you're going upstairs. And now it's messy again, and it bothers me. And, I've had to live with it for 9 months, and I don't want to live with it anymore for 9 months. I want to change it because changing it would be amazing. It would absolutely be amazing. But so I'm out of school. Expect more live streams, more videos. And if I miss some videos, I'm going to be pissed at myself for missing videos. That's for sure. I'm going to kind of ease into it because I got some stuff going on that involves graduation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change a little bit. I'm going to do one video on Tuesday. Try to do 2 on Wednesday. Wednesday, Friday, and Monday, I might cut down to just one video because it's kind of like just like 2 videos in YouTube tips make sense. 2 videos on Monday to me does not make sense, and 2 videos on Friday to me does make sense. So I might just cut it down. I'll see what I come up with. Because Friday, like, I'm doing more live streams. So I'm thinking Monday and Friday I might also upload some live streams. Maybe even like, I don't know. We'll see. As long as I get a video up every single day at the same time, I'm happy. So that's it for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sitting back in my chair now. If you sat this far, you're a trooper. Go ahead. If you sat this far into the video, I want you to write a comment and capitalize the last 2 words of your comment. Actually, capitalize the last 2 words and the last letter of your comment. If you sat this far through the video. I know people do that all the time, but this one is kind of like super hidden and someone might just think you're an idiot. And so I really want to see who actually sits through the entire video. I just want to see. I can catch all the liars because you never believe anything you see on the internet, even the compliments. But yeah, if you're actually on this vlog right now, you know what I do. You know that all my videos and stuff. You can watch them, and they should all be available. So, I'm Pacific. Welcome to the next chapter of my life, and we'll see what happens here.